make sure that you are okay. And if you're not okay, to let you know that it's okay to not be okay. It's totally normal to not be okay sometimes. We live in a society where we're taught that we must be perfect and positive and good all of the time. And I don't know about you, but my life hasn't been perfect and positive every single moment of my life. That's not logical reality that we live in. And that's a really bad expectation for us to have. In fact, that expectation of being perfect and being positive and being great and being strong all of the time is actually what can lead to a lot of depression. It's what can lead to a lot of anxiety and a lot of negative self-talk about who we are, because we're not perfect all of the time, because we judge ourselves against everybody else on Facebook, and we judge ourselves against everybody else that's out there on Instagram, and we judge ourselves against what's on infomercials and commercials, and they're only the highlight reels of people's lives. And so if we're judging ourselves by the highlight reels of everybody else and have the expectation that we should be positive and successful like everybody else, you're going to get pretty depressed. So I'm really here to say that it's okay if you're not okay. And if you're not okay, I want you to know that we genuinely, sincerely, and wholeheartedly care and want to make sure that you get back in the driver's seat of feeling okay. Because when we don't feel okay, that's totally normal. But when we don't have the coping mechanisms and the tools and resources and processes to make ourselves feel okay, then that's when we reach towards the things that maybe give us the instant gratification and maybe give us a sense of feeling okay momentarily, but actually lead to us not feeling okay for very long periods of time, and perhaps leading to things that make us feel much worse than what we were feeling in the first place, even though it gives us that momentary relief. And so tonight, at least for me, is really about giving you the science, the proven neuroscientific processes on how you can manage and regulate and mitigate your stress, how you can manage and mitigate not feeling okay. If you're feeling depressed or anxious or stressed about something, you can get back in the driver's seat of that. And what happens for a lot of people is when they don't feel okay, they start to spiral down and they start to feel like they're slipping or sliding down a slide where they have no control. And that's totally normal for people to do that. But when you understand how the brain and nervous system works and how you can press the eject button on that sliding down, or how you can unplug the process of yourself spiraling out of control and down into the depths of depression or anxiety, then you feel much better about not feeling okay. You actually recognize that not feeling okay is normal and that it's actually regulating you. There's signs, the same as we have signs in our car that say, hey, you're low on fuel. Hey, it's time to service your car. Hey, you need to put oil or water in the car. The car's overheating. You need to change your tire if you have a sophisticated car. Then those messages aren't bad messages. They're messages to let you know that something needs to be fixed. And when we start to pick up on these cues, when we start to understand how the vehicle is communicating to us, then we can start to use these proven neuroscientific processes to start to regulate and mitigate those responses, how we can start to resolve those problems more quickly and nip things in the bud, rather than having a half a dozen beers or smoking a few cigarettes or binge watching Netflix and pigging out on Uber Eats for several days, several weeks, several months. Sometimes people go for several years. We can nip that in the bud in a matter of moments. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with not being okay. I feel not okay lots of times, and that will continue to happen throughout my life. But I'm truly blessed that I have learnt from some of the most compassionate, loving, and intelligent people on earth that we have control over this vehicle, and we have control over this organism. And that when we get those messages, we can use those as positive cues to get us back on track and back to feeling okay. So I really want you to know that there's nothing wrong with not feeling okay. You don't have to be positive all of the time. You don't have to just share the highlight reel with people. And I also want you to know that you can make yourself feel okay, that you can get your hands on the steering wheel of what we call your car, which is your mind and body, and the directions of where you want to go in your life.